All right, welcome back, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to another video. If you haven't, please jump over to our vlog channel and like and subscribe over there, as well as this channel. And this is episode 331. Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to another video here.
You sound very, very, very stoked to be here.
I've never been more excited to be here, guys. If you haven't yet, please like and subscribe to this channel, and as well jump over to our vlog channel, which is linked down below. We appreciate it. So we did a video the other day on...
And yes, I'm tired because, sorry, I just got triggered for a second because I yawned. And someone was like, why is she yawning on camera? Yeah, you know what happened? I took 2 sips of my... I'm like yelling at people who have literally not said anything wrong. I dropped my coffee all over the counter this morning, and I haven't recovered since. I took 2 sips, and the whole thing went flying, and I didn't make a new one.
Do you remember Tiger King? When something happened, and he's like, I will never financially recover from this. Yeah, that reminded me of that. All right. So
I will not emotionally recover.
All right. So we did a video the other day. It was like a dinner interview with Zoran. This is a video, kind of, it's not him in it, but it's like a socialist company talking about how in general he can fix the housing crisis, but how socialists can fix the housing crisis. So it's interesting to see this, so I want to just take a look. But let's see.
The United States has a housing problem.
Yeah.
A problem so deeply rooted that most young Americans just accept this as a cruel reality.
So true.
But what if we told you it didn't have to be this way? In fact, what if we told you that for a very long time, it wasn't this way?
I feel like she's selling us a drug.
The way she's just like in the leather jacket,
What
just
if we
like
told you?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it's Black Mirror. They're about to inject me with something, and I'm gonna be like super...
Back in 1980, the median rent was just $243 per month, or about $983 in today's money.
Huh?
American families could afford a home on a single income in 1980. An idea now so unthinkable that it is entirely removed from society just one generation later, despite us living in a much richer economy today.
Well, that just, I mean, really, if anyone thinks about that, that just goes to show how all the money has funneled upward.
Yeah, guys, it's called trickle up economics.
Pretty much, that's what we've had since the 80s.
Today, our housing crisis is getting worse and worse. But other countries don't offer the same fate because they embrace sensible rent controls, encourage new home construction, and support beautiful, well-maintained public housing. Don't we deserve nice things too? Let's take each of these solutions in turn. Rent control is one of the most immediate and proportionate responses to exponentially rising housing costs. A well-designed rent control policy gives immediate relief to millions of renters by imposing limitations on the amount landlords can hike rents annually. This effectively bans exploitative rental price gouging and gives working-class people access to privately built housing they otherwise couldn't afford. Rent control not only cuts housing costs for existing renters, but also lowers market...
Is there rent control in New York City?
Yeah, it's heavy rent control, just like over here.
Yeah.
rates across the board. It puts more money in the hands of working Americans rather than furthering enriching landlords and corporate investors.
Yeah, so, I mean, I do think landlords have sometimes they're getting taken advantage of too by like the banks and by other things going on. But this just I think it boils down to that we shouldn't have let housing become such a commodity and like such a profit incentive. Like, it shouldn't have turned into that. It should have been more for like, well, we need to house people, not to be like, well, how am I going to make my wealth over the next 30 years? Yeah.
These controls also promote housing stability by keeping families in their homes and communities, and curbs gentrification by protecting tenants from getting priced out of their own neighborhoods.
This is
despite
that same thing though. It's happening right now in Mexico City, and there's a lot of protests in Mexico City right now that are saying like, gringos, get the fuck out of here, and like they're just saying like go back home. because a lot of the people who I was watching interviews, and some of the people who have lived in the city, they get evicted and pushed out to go live in like really far away from the city.
Yeah,
even if they were from there, and it's like, yeah, it sucks. That does suck.
Ardent pushback from landlords and real estate lobbyists, Americans are winning the fight for rent control with real-world results.
The LA City Council is expected to vote today on more renter protections.
On Monday, rallies like this were held in major cities statewide.
When Los Angeles adopted a rent control, there was an immediate 37% drop in the amount of renters who moved compared with those in the preceding 12 months. In Manhattan, tenants in rent-regulated units were 10 times as likely to have lived in their homes for 20 years or more, compared with those in market rates, 35% compared with 3%. Back out west, Santa Monica reported similar results with enacting rent control measures. When done right, rent control would help make existing homes affordable while only impacting new construction projects many years in the future.
I do think they should have this for like mortgages too. I don't think it should just be for renters. I think they should have similar things for people who are paying their housing costs too. You know what I mean?
You're saying if somebody's
like, they should have similar type of programs that aren't just for renters in apartments. They should have programs for people who are paying mortgages that have like rent, like mortgage control stuff where they can't like hike up prices, and
they
can't
can just hike up your mortgage 1 year and just be like, actually, you're gonna pay this much now. Once you sign a contract, isn't that kind of it?
Yeah, but I think there's like variable contracts where they say they can raise prices if they need to. Yeah, exactly.
Like interest can go up.
Yeah, and I don't.
That would be crazy. I don't know, because I don't have a home.
I know. I don't think there's as many protections for homeowners as there are for renters. But I don't know. I'm not sure.
And it's not all of the state either.
Yeah.
It's just certain cities that kind of somewhat care about people. So I'm thankful. I'm actually super shocked Santa Monica has rent control.
Yeah.
That's one of the many places in SoCal that I would just expect them to
be like, fuck it, let's just take the rich people.
Right. Yeah. They're constantly building luxury buildings there. It's fucking crazy. And most of them are like at least half empty. I don't know what they're doing. Maybe there's a secret
laundering money
going on.
Yeah, it could be laundering money. But
oil rigs.
Many years in the future, long after new projects become profitable. That means rent control won't discourage private building like so many neoliberal critics claim. But those critics are right that price controls won't solve a supply problem.
It's true. Yeah.
The U.S. today has a shortage of 7.3 million affordable homes for low-income renters. Why? Because housing construction is dominated by private speculators and wealthy homeowners.
You know, it's crazy. Maybe take from the military budget that's funding genocides in other parts of the world and bring it over to maybe build affordable housing for people. It's like
those funds will never be reallocated to us. Yeah. They just keep increasing the budget and saying, well, it's gonna go somewhere overseas. Whether it's anyway.
And one of their chief weapons in keeping home prices sky high and demand unmet is zoning. Zoning is a set of rules made by elected and appointed officials that regulate development. Through zoning laws, local governments essentially determine what buildings can be built and where, often splitting areas into categories like residential, commercial, industrial, and more. When New York City's zoning code was created in 1916, it was 85 pages long. When it was revamped in 1961, the new resolution was 539 pages. Since then, another 3,436 pages of amendments have been added. In New York today, there are about 150 different zoning types in use around the city. Complex and restrictive zoning has become an important part of the housing crisis. In the housing crisis and shortage, public policy should ensure that land where apartments are permitted is plentiful, not scarce and expensive. Yet long-standing zoning and land use policies are geared to do exactly the opposite, suppressing multifamily housing creation in the places that need it most.
I'm sure that happens in California too, because it shouldn't be such a huge process for people here to find affordable housing. Like, it should just be like a more of a normal thing. But obviously that's just like over-optimistically thinking.
Well, apartments now, you're paying rent that costs more than some of the mortgages 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think they just they're like, well, New York and LA specifically are, densely populated, especially New York. So I think they see it as just like, why not build up instead of out, when it comes to homes, because it's like effective space wise, I guess. I don't know the fucking logic. They know that it's just easier to compact people up like in an apartment versus having houses everywhere.
No, I don't even mean specifically houses. I just mean that there needs to be more of an effort for affordable housing, like public housing. Yeah.
But then if people are going to pay it, what's the incentive to, what is the reason they would need to do that?
Because there's so many people who are getting evicted and homeless because of...
Babe, I'm telling you.
Oh, sorry.
I don't mean... I know why morally they should do it.
Yeah,
but
I get you. There's no incentive.
It just comes down to this being a business for them, and that's it.
Yeah.
They don't see it as anything more. They say apparently having a home, whether it's an apartment or a house, is a luxury nowadays.
Yeah.
It's the interest of NIMBY homeowners to rapidly bring down rental costs. We need to be able to rezone certain neighborhoods to build more housing with greater speed and combine these efforts with socialist demands like rent control and the construction of public and cooperative housing to ensure affordability. Yes, I said that the government needs to get back in the business of housing construction. Public housing, it gets a bad rap in the United States, but that isn't the case everywhere, and certainly wasn't the case for generations in the United States. In Austria, Vienna, for example, during the city's Red Vienna period of socialist rule in the 1920s and 30s, 65,000 public housing units were built, funded in part by new luxury taxes on private villas, vehicles, domestic servants, and other high-end consumption. Today, more than half of Vienna's 1.9 million residents live in either public housing or subsidized housing. And although it's been under attack for years in places...
I did a video about that a long time ago.
Places like New York City, public housing remains a vital lifeline for low-income families. It's a rising tide that lifts housing opportunities for all Americans. Simply put, public housing is a public option for housing. It's state-owned and can never be resold for profit. Yet our country loses 15,000 units every year to decay and lack of repair. Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is trying to change that. She recently introduced the Homes Act of 2024, which would create a Housing Development Authority, HDA, for the entire country. Its sole mission would be to build, buy, renovate, and operate social housing. That is housing with state and cooperative ownership, with permanent price protections.
This is my conspiracy theory that I know is me being a tinfoil hat person, okay? Because I love AOC. But I just, in a Black Mirror episode, can see them doing this, and then they're going to be like, we're taking it out of, like, your paycheck or some shit. Like, somehow they're going to, like, intertwine the job you have with the public housing you're allowed to have. I can see them doing that. I'm only thinking like this because our country's fucking insane and they're trying to microchip people's brains here.
Community control.
Anyway.
It would be a radical departure from existing housing policy that drives up costs for tenants and disempowers them while lining the pockets of elite homeowners and investors. There's no need for us to accept our housing fates. Through rent control, public housing, and zoning reform, we have an arsenal of proven solutions to not only build more homes, but also make our cities affordable, desirable places to live for working families. A better world needs better homes, and socialists have a clear route to deliver them.
I'm taking that drug.
The creepy music.
I know.
Yeah, I saw. Sorry, one of the comments says, in Vienna, even wealthier people often live in public housing. That's how normalized it is.
Sweet.
Yeah,
here they would shame you.
Yeah,
they
exactly.
Have Section 8 here, and they're just like, loser. You're a fucking loser, and you're no good for anything, and you depend on the government to take care of you because you're a loser. That's how they shame you here for having any type of help from the government, as if you aren't paying fucking taxes into that.
Yeah. I do think there needs to be a system that helps, like in general, all of these policies and things that can benefit people and help make people more money, no matter what you do, like that can help lower costs of living, of housing, everything. Like we need to do these shifts, because then if there's enough supply of housing, like literal houses, and if people are getting paid enough to fit into those houses and they don't feel like it's such a struggle or that they're never going to get it, that can really reform our entire country. Like if people that now are like Gen Z or whoever, younger, is like, by the time they're in their 20s and 30s, things have changed a lot and housing is affordable. Their jobs pay really well no matter what it is.
Something to.
I'm saying like our whole
Sorry.
vibe of our country would shift into more of a positive vibe. Like if people felt like they weren't just pushed out of everything.
The American dream. Yeah, the American dream used to be like owning a home and having a solid job.
But that
and
should
kids
be
and stuff. So
that should be available for anyone, no matter what you do.
Right.
That's the thing.
And now it doesn't. It's no one sees that in the near future for them.
Yeah, I know.
If at all.
We got fucked as millennials. We're
Right.
like right in the
I know. We kind of were sold that like, hey, you work full time, you can probably, end up owning a home after 20 to 30 years of, paying a mortgage, whatever. Now that's just not the case. It's not impossible, but it's way more difficult than it was for our parents and so on.
Yeah.
Which is, it used to be our average 300, which would add up today to be about
900.
900, less than $1,000 for a mortgage on a home.
That goes to show how
fucking
much they've
crazy.
inflated the prices, though.
Just from when like our parents were kids. Anyway, I forgot my point. But yeah, no one has anything to strive for other than a high paying job, hopefully. That's it.
Yep.
It's the people I know who have houses now, they make fucking bank.
You have to.
Yeah. I don't know anyone who owns a house or is in the process of owning a house that isn't making a ton of money.
The only way it happens is if the parents got it
Or
a
they
long
got it.
time ago and they pass it down.
Or they got it, generate.
God, man, I wish. Here in California, that'd
I
be
love
nice.
my mom, but she fucked us with that. She sold our house in the middle of that 2008 crisis. No, not in the middle of it.
After it.
A few years after it.
Yeah.
And banks were just itching to scoop up homes.
All right. Well, let us know what you
anyway.
think in the comments about this situation and what could be done better, and if you think it's a stupid idea.
Because we don't fucking know.
But yeah, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and jump over to our vlog channel, please. And we'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Bye.